Keeping your business top of mind, sharing your expertise can be difficult if you're relying on intermittent networking to meet different people. If you have a static website, it can be very difficult. But you can stay top of mind through consistent content marketing. Today on Make It Click, my guest is Bonnie Chomica. Bonnie is a content creation mentor. Now, Bonnie, to start out with, can you explain content marketing and the content creation? What are we really talking about here?
Yeah, great question, because the term content marketing can be confusing for people, or it's just another term that they're unfamiliar with. So really, content marketing is a long-term strategy where you create some kind of free content, whatever platform you choose. It could be blogging, it could be like an email newsletter, it could be in social media, it could be something like this, like a live video stream or in Facebook Live. It could even be like your lead magnets, like ebooks and reports, something that you're creating that's free, but it's value added. It's something that you're either educating people, entertaining them, or enlightening them on something. It's not a promotional piece. Does that help?
Yes, that does. That helps a lot. Now, we're talking, people creating these things for them. Now, you had been a content creator for business owners. Is that correct? You were actually creating the content. So what's the difference whether I would have you do that for me or I get actively involved in creating my own content?
Well, certainly my background started in the corporate world where I was creating content for, like a big corporation, training material, trade show material, brochures, website content. And then when I started my own business, I was doing that for small businesses. So restaurants, wineries, print shops, like kind of brick and mortar type companies. And I was doing just that, writing their blogs, writing their e-newsletters, posting on social media, and managing their comments and things like that. And then some people came to me asking for coaching. They didn't want me to produce their materials for them, but they wanted to know what they needed to do, what they needed to produce, and how to make that effective in their business. So I ultimately switched my business model from doing marketing for people to coaching them on how to do it themselves. So it's about, bringing my expertise to them, giving them feedback on what they're creating. Like lots of people for example, are really good writers, but when it comes from the marketing perspective, there's certain things that you need to do to just make a bigger impact and get that connection with your audience.
And what's the difference that you're seeing from when you were just creating content for people versus now that you're helping people to create their own content, to get their own information out there? Are you seeing a difference?
Well, absolutely a difference in my business, certainly, but just in my relationship with people. Like when I was still writing for people, it still kind of felt like I had a job. I mean, I had a relationship with the business owners, certainly, but it still kind of felt like I was just, doing work for someone else. Whereas when I switched over to the coaching aspect, it was, I could see the light bulbs go off in my client's head. They really felt accountable. They really wanted to accomplish something. It was like very much more personal. We built a deeper relationship. And for me, it made me proud. It was just much more rewarding to help people do that and have them move forward. So it was a much different relationship.
Yeah, so it sounds like when people get actively involved in their own content creation, it really helps a larger population that it affects even the people that you're working with in different ways. I'm sure besides them creating their content, creating a blog article, it rippled into the rest of their business, I would imagine. Would you
That's
agree?
right. They're finding a way to showcase their expertise without selling, right? It's without content marketing is without that promotional aspect. Although subtly, you do kind of weave that in there. You want to lead people closer to a sale, but you're really building your credibility. When people write their own content or do video podcasts, they're really just showcasing their knowledge, their experience, and how they support and help people. So when someone comes across your material, it's like, okay, I like this person. They get to know, like, and trust you. I like what value they're providing. I understand their concepts, their message, and how they can help me. So it's more meaningful.
Yeah, that's oh, I have to get better at my content marketing. So Bonnie, so as the content creation mentor, what are now we say avoid these mistakes, but let's just avoid doing these things. So what are those things we should avoid doing when we're talking about our content creation strategy?
Yeah, great question. I mean, first off, I've mentioned it a couple of times not to be too promotional, like don't be salesy. People are skeptical and don't trust advertising. And so if you're selling and promoting all the time, it just turns people off. So you're not engaging and kind of building a relationship with those people. The other thing is not to be random or sporadic with whatever it is you're creating. If you're going to do a blog, then you need to commit to a certain frequency, even if it's a monthly blog. Just commit to doing that a month. But if you're doing it weekly, then make sure you're getting that out there every week, because that's what's going to make you visible. That's what's going to make you credible. Getting that exposure, it just leaves your brand more top of mind. Otherwise, if it's just sporadic or random, it's not going to show up in people's news feeds or in their inbox. So your brand is just kind of lost with all the noise out there. I mean, think about all of the messages that you see. So the more consistent you are, that's just so important. I guess the other thing, especially if people are just starting out, not really starting out, because mostly I work with people that have been in business, a couple or 3-4 years, they've been doing some marketing on their own, but they just really need just more emphasis on what they're doing. And it's about not being in too many places. I mean, sometimes you're going to hear, oh, you've got to be everywhere. It's like, but if you're trying to be everywhere, you can't be good at being everywhere, right? So you need to, I recommend getting good at one platform, especially today. There's so many aspects to different platforms. There's more features, there's more things that you can do. So get good and understand what that is. And then as you get better, then expand into those other platforms or strategies.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I'm thinking, so, okay, so we need to create our content. We need to like focus on one platform, everything. What would be a good starting point for somebody who, maybe they write a couple Facebook posts, or, maybe they wrote one blog. Is there one piece of content to start with that can lead to some of these other things? If that makes sense.
It does, and it's interesting because I just wrote a message the other day. The answer to most marketing questions is it depends. So it's going to depend on your target audience mostly, what their pain points are or their desires. Like what are they trying to achieve with their content? Are you educating? Are you enlightening people about something? So it's often not just about one piece of content. It's about how to spread that one message out a bunch through a bunch of different areas. So a blog post, for example, no one's going to know a blog post is there until you tell people,
Hmm.
right? So that's when you send an email out to your list saying, hey, here's my latest blog post and why you should read it and how it can help you. Same as social media posts. Check out the latest blog post this week and you'll learn about, XYZ. And so it's not just about one piece of content. It's because it's a long-term strategy. It's about building on content and showcasing, again, your expertise. So it's building on that credibility factor.
But it sounds like if you can write a blog article to start with, then you're distributing it to your email list, to your Facebook community, and to these other areas, so that you're not just like creating one-off Facebook posts or, a one-off email. You're starting with that blog post then, and then distributing. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. That's correct. Not everyone has a blog, right? That's my methodology, and that's what I do in my content marketing strategy, and it's often what I recommend to clients. Not everybody has a blog on their website, for example. So people often, especially with the evolution of video and how easy it is to produce shows, um, uh, that's often where people will start. Is they'll start with that Facebook live or other live stream, and that's their foundation. That's their kind of blog post, if you will, and then they expand from there. So you could start anywhere and then expand. But yeah, that's my process.
Well, and finding that starting point, I guess, is why we all need to talk to you, Bonnie. Do you
Okay,
have
come on over.
do you have something for our audience today? Do you have a
I
little gift
do. I,
for them?
I do. Sure, we can put that in the comments. Um, I have a free ebook. I mean, I think a lot of times when people start their business, they don't realize how much they have to be a writer. And so everything in your business is writing, and it's not just about marketing, but that's my expertise is around marketing. So the ebook I have is 9 client attracting writing tips, and it's really simple, kind of logical things that you can implement right away, whatever it is you're creating. If it's an email, even just to a client, not like an official newsletter, or just making things simpler, easy to understand. People are so busy and they scan things and they're so distracted. The writing tips can help you just make it easier for them to consume your content. So I have
And,
that ebook that you can download.
and they can get it at your website, bonniechomica.com.
Yes, they certainly can do that, and I can put it in the social comments as well.
All right. Thank you so much for being my guest today, Bonnie.
Oh, that's great. Thanks so much for the opportunity, Christine. I really enjoyed our conversation.